Hello and welcome to Bangladesh Today. I'm Smita Prakash. Today we speak with Shahriar Kabir, who is a Bangladesh-based journalist, filmmaker, human rights activist and author of more than 70 books focusing on human rights, communalism, fundamentalism, history and the 1971 Bangladesh War of Independence. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Kabir. I'd like to begin by asking that, you have written extensively on the issue of minorities, about the secular character of Bangladesh. Could you tell us whether the past 4 years of the Awami League government, has it helped Bangladesh in retaining that secular fabric of its constitution, its way of life? Have things improved in Bangladesh in the past few years?
Indeed, Bangladesh achieved many successes during the last 4 years, including reinstigation of the secularism in our constitution. As you know, Awami League led the liberation war of Bangladesh, and as a result, Bangladesh came out with a magnificent constitution that enshrined secularism, democracy, socialism, and nationalism as the basic principle of the republic. And not only that, Bangladesh is amongst the few countries in the world that has banned religion in politics. In our 72 constitution, politics on the basis of religion was prohibited. And that is because to what Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the founding father of Bangladesh, said categorically, that 3 million people were being killed in the name of religion during the liberation war of Bangladesh, and officially more than 200,000 women were violated, and all types of war crimes and crimes against humanity perpetrated during the war in the name of Islam. And that's why secularism in Bangladesh, to introduce secularism as a basic principle of the republic, was very important, and we did so. But unfortunately, within 3.5 years of the liberation war, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was brutally assassinated, and one of the main reasons he was assassinated just to convert Bangladesh into an Islamic republic like Pakistan. They defeated Pakistani political forces like Jamaat-e-Islami, Muslim League, Nizam-e-Islam and others. So they took the revenge of the defeat, and as well as they wanted to convert Bangladesh into another Pakistan. And that's the beginning. That was the beginning of Islamization, desecularization, or Pakistanization of Bangladesh society and politics. But after
there's been a reversal in the past few years of that
trend. And during the last election, we had in 2008, and this present government assumed power in 2009, and that was one of the main election program also. If they assume power, the secularism will be reinstated in the constitution, and that is what they have done.
And you talked about the war crimes of 1971. Sheikh Hasina also established the war crimes trial, the courts, and then the war crimes trial have taken place, convictions have happened, and the sentencing has happened. Now, you formed the Nirmul committee also, and you have worked towards this trial to take place. How important is it for Bangladeshis that the trials should happen, the sentencing should happen, and these people should be brought to justice?
Well, you see, if any crime, if anybody kill a person, he should be tried. He or she should be tried. Otherwise, this type of crimes will repeat again, and the victims who has lost their near and dear ones, they won't get justice. So in order to set up the rules of laws, in order to set up the values of the human rights and democracy, you have to try the criminals, perpetrators of any sort of crimes. And if you consider the genocide of Bangladesh, 3 million people were being killed. Since the Holocaust of Second World War, there is no such record of genocide or crimes against humanity have been perpetrated any part of the world. And those victims of the liberation war of Bangladesh, the family members are crying for justice for the last 40 years, and no country, no state can deny their right to have justice, and the criminals who went unpunished, because after the killing of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, what the government did at that time, they stopped the trial of the war criminals.
But there are also many of them who are sitting abroad who will never probably be brought to justice. So in a way, this trial will remain somewhat superficial, because not everybody will be tried. They are sitting in Pakistan, some are sitting in the West. So there is no closure that the victims are going to get, isn't it?
I don't think so, because I'm a victim of the war. I lost two of my cousins, and a very eminent journalists, writers, filmmakers, Shahidullah Kaisar and Zahir Ayhan. And one of the killers of my cousin, Shahidullah Kaisar, well, he is right now he is in London. But last week, my sister-in-law testified before the tribunal, and she demanded the trial of the criminal. It doesn't matter whether he has been hanged or not, but we want to see that a tribunal has declared him as killer of Shahidullah Kaisar or perpetrators of Bangladesh genocide. And then if such judgment have been passed in our tribunal, we can ask the British government to try him. And there is a law in Britain that if anybody commits war crimes or crimes against humanity or genocide in any part of the world, under the British legal system, judicial system, you can try them in Britain.
You know, you have written and you've also produced films where you have you've talked about the Hifazat-e-Islam, you've talked about the Jamaat. Now, these are organizations which, you know, it's been documented that they want a pan-Islamic footprint here. How dangerous are they for the future of Bangladesh and for the future of this region?
Yeah, that is not only the danger for Bangladesh, it is danger for this region, national security for the neighboring countries as well as for the West also. Recently, now I am making a documentary on the global jihadi network titled Ultimate Jihad. And in this film, I am going to expose Jamaat-e-Islami's global network and how they are linked with Al-Qaeda, Hamas or Muslim Brotherhood and similar, you know, outfits in the other Middle Eastern countries and other countries of the world. Those organizations who are perpetrating terrorism, starting from 9/11 to Mumbai blast and London bomb blast or Madrid bomb blast or bomb blast in Bali, Indonesia, doesn't matter, even in Pakistan. So they are after democracy. They want to establish Islami hukumat in this part of the world or in other country also. Even in England, you know, they are chanting that they want to convert England into Islamic country. They want to introduce Sharia law in England. So because that is their aims and objectives. So this global, this network, you know, it is well knitted in every countries, the Jamaat-e-Islami, Muslim Brotherhood or, you know, Jamaat al-Islamiyah, and they have their tentacles in every countries. Even in India, you have homegrown terrorists, you have terrorists coming outside from India, from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, from elsewhere, who perpetrated a bomb blast in the Taj Hotel in Mumbai. There were Pakistani jihadists and there were some Indian homegrown jihadists.
Now, what about, you know, when you talk about the Hifazat-e-Islam, does it have political support in Bangladesh? Because, you know, the foot soldiers have to come in, are probably coming in from the madrasas in Bangladesh. What numbers are we talking about when we talk about support, and what political party is backing this movement? Because unless there is political backing, they really cannot survive for long.
Definitely. Well, Hifazat-e-Islam's, we have seen very recently the rise of Hifazat-e-Islam, but the organization was there. It's an organization of the Deobandi, you know, model of Islam.
It's a conglomeration of various groups,
isn't
it?
Yeah, and mostly it is the students and teachers of the private madrasas, but top leaders of Hifazat-e-Islam. What we have seen, and we are now going to publish a white paper on Hifazat-e-Islam, and we have seen that top leaders, they came from different parties like Jamaat-e-Islami or Nizami Islam or Harkatul Jihad and other Islamic militant outfits. So they are the mastermind. They are the top leaders of Hifazat. But the students in general, they study in madrasa and they have a very narrow vision of Islam or narrow idea of international issues. So whatever the teachers tell them, they used to follow it.
What about the political backing?
And it is Jamaat-e-Islami, it is BNP. They came out publicly, and now this General Ershad's Jatiya Party also extended support to them just to get their support in the coming election. And now Hifazat is also planning. They became politically ambitious after the so-called success of the 5th May or 6th April's demonstration. They arranged huge rally in Dhaka with the support of Jamaat and BNP.
The Jamaat's registration has been taken away. They cannot participate in the election. While Bangladesh, many in Bangladesh, especially the Shahbag revolutionaries, they are quite happy that the Jamaat cannot take part in the 2014 elections. Doesn't it push them further towards violence if they are not part of the political process?
When they were part of the political process, when they were contesting election, when they became part of the government from 2001 to 2006, what we have seen unprecedented persecution of the religious minorities, particularly the Hindus of Bangladesh. At that time, from 2001 to 2002, more than 300,000 Hindus were forced to leave Bangladesh. They took shelter in India. And the persecution on the free thinkers, persecution on the secular democratic forces, it was something unprecedented. It doesn't matter whether Jamaat is operating openly or clandestinely. They have their underground network, they have their overground network, they have created more than 100 Islamic outfits, militant outfits when they were in power, starting from Harkatul Jihad, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Jamaatul Mujahideen. You can name them, we have listed them. In my film, Portrait of Jihad, I have given those listed. So it doesn't matter whether Jamaat is open or underground. When they committed genocide in 1971, it was a legal party, they were part of the government. And they killed 3 million people. They helped Pakistan army in killing 3 million innocent people in Bangladesh.
The Western media says that with all this happening, with the Hifazat gaining ground, with the Jamaat becoming extremely violent, and with the political backing that the BNP and the Jatiya Party is giving to these militant groups, it's going to be a tough couple of months now before the elections to maintain law and order in Bangladesh and see a smooth transition from one government to the other. Do you think this reading is correct?
Well, I beg to differ, because when Jamaat-e-Islami was operating legally, still it is a legal party, but just for the last 1 year, what they have did, in the name of hartal, strike, in the name of demonstration, they kill innocent people. They, in the name of hartal, when they call a strike, they just burned the buses and public transport and trains, and they burned people alive in those transports, in the buses, and that is in the name of Islam, in the name of democracy, and they are taking all the advantage of democracy, and they are campaigning and they are doing everything that is against democracy, that is against our constitution.
And the government is fighting tooth and nail.
And definitely, I must say that this government is very sincere, fighting back the Islamic militancy. And if you see most of the Islamic militant leaders, they are in jail now. Most of the Jamaat-e-Islami leaders, they are in jail now, and they are losing their ground. Definitely, as long as they will be getting support from outside, particularly from Pakistan, from Saudi Arabia, even when Morsi was in power, from Egypt. And last month I was in Turkey. I have seen that in last November, top Jamaati leaders visited Turkey, and they convinced the ruling party of Turkey, AK party, that, well, Islam is in danger in Bangladesh, you should come forward and you should ask Bangladesh government to stop this war crime trial. They have their network in USA also.
So you're saying that Sheikh Hasina not only has to withstand the onslaught of the Islamists in her own country, she also has these countries like Turkey that you're mentioning, or Saudi Arabia. There are regimes in these countries also which are going to be putting pressure on her to go easy against the Islamists?
At the same time, even the US State Department, they consider Jamaat-e-Islami as a moderate Islamic party. That is what in my recent film, I am going to expose by quoting all the US, expert on terrorism, how Jamaat-e-Islami is linked with global terrorism, global jihadi network. If they come to know this State Department people, I think definitely they will change their mind. And recently when I visited Turkey, I talked to the opposition parties, the secular democratic forces, intellectuals and politicians, and now they became more aware that their government pretending to be liberal, but now they are having this relation with Jamaat-e-Islami. So we have to create this awareness in these countries. Even in Pakistan, there are people in Pakistan who are fighting for secular democracy, and we have to address them. We have to tell them that you should put a pressure on your government, so that the Jamaat-e-Islami in Pakistan, the other day they came out publicly, they are protesting against this war crime trial. But thanks to the government, present government, they said it is the internal matters of Bangladesh. We are not going to say anything about the internal matters. But Jamaat-e-Islami is very much active in Bangladesh. It is the Pakistani Jamaat-e-Islami who is, the headquarters, Bangladeshi Jamaat-e-Islami's headquarters is in Pakistan. So it is up to the secular democratic or liberal human rights organizations of Pakistan, the liberal progressive forces of Pakistan.
To give more muscle to Sheikh Hasina.
Yeah, definitely. And to protect, if we can protect, if they want to protect their position, if they want to fight back Islamic militancy in their country, they need our support. As well as while we are fighting Jamaat-e-Islami in Bangladesh, we are also helping Pakistanis who are fighting against Jamaat-e-Islami in Pakistan.
Thank you very much for shedding light on all this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.